Hi everyone, it's Amanda. It's the 7th of August 2019 and we are a day away from the 8-8 portal for this year, which is known as Lionsgate. And the Lionsgate energy portal opens around the 26th of July, goes through till August the 12th. So we've still got a few more days of it, and as I say, you may be watching this on the 7th if it uploads in time. You may be watching it on 8-8 itself or any day thereafter. And indeed, if you watch this at any other point in the year, know that you've probably been guided here because the energy within it is what you need at this time. 8-8 is always about an energy upgrade. It's always about new frequencies and new vibrations coming into our earth and into ourself. And it feels as though we've never needed it more. So, excuse me, I've got a little bit of a cold, so apologies. A couple of things before we get going. I'm going to do a meditation in this video. I have no idea really what that is going to involve. I'll just channel it through. I do know it's linked into Egypt, okay, and the energy of ancient Egypt. I'm going to pull a couple of cards. I'm going to use some of my sprays, and the crystal that I'm connecting with today is red jasper. Okay, so good old red jasper. It's a good old grounding stone, and I really felt pulled to need that to do this video. And it's interesting, isn't it, because these portals, whether they're 8-8, 11-11, any of the moon phases, eclipses, equinoxes, all the things that we go through in the spiritual calendar, they're always about bringing more light in. But I feel as though it's never been more important for us to be grounding at this moment in time, okay? And indeed, the whole Lionsgate phenomenon, let's call it that, is linked to, just got something open here, it's linked to when the sun is in Leo. We're obviously in the sign of Leo at the moment, and it's marked by the star Sirius moving closer to Earth and aligning in Orion's belt. Now, I was going to look up some information on Sirius, but Metatron's like, you don't need to do that, Amanda, you're from there. I've always known I was from the Sirian energy, and I hold that as a very strong blueprint within me. So I will say a little bit about Sirius. I'll channel something through in a moment, but I did just get one thing up which I wanted to acknowledge. This is quite a funny little thing because just had my breakfast, was coming upstairs to do this video, was thinking about Sirius, and then I noticed Bella, my dog, and she's just lying on the carpet wanting to, she was looking up at me, very regal, you know, and it was like a telepathic moment. It was like, I know she's a dog obviously, but she was like, I'm a dog. I thought, oh, what are you going on about, you're a dog, I know you're a dog. And then I open up some information on Sirius, and it says, of course, Sirius is the dog star and the brightest star. So it's like she was saying, I'm from there as well. I hold that energy. So yeah, Sirius, the dog star, the brightest star in the sky. So, and it's quite interesting. I'm just going to read you a few little bits here. Brightest star visible from any part of Earth is Sirius in the constellation of Canis Major, the greater dog. It's sometimes called the dog star. And it's saying, although that it is white in colour, Sirius might also be called a rainbow star, as it often flickers with many colours. So I'll just shut that down now. I mean, that makes complete and utter sense. For me, for anybody that is into colour, which I guess you are if you watch me, I'm a colour therapist. What is white light? White light holds all of the rainbow colours. So I think many of us that have a real love of colour in this lifetime, there probably is a link back to the Sirius star system from which we came as well. Sirius also links into the ancient Egyptian energy. In ancient Egypt, it was a time that was very revered, and they celebrated the arrival of what we now call Lion's Gate, the Sirius star being very close to Earth, lines up to the Egyptian pyramid as well. And again, colour therapy is so ancient. It's not a new thing. The ancient Egyptians practiced colour. So it all just feels, as I'm sitting down here, I'm thinking, of course, why would I not celebrate Lionsgate every single year? We'll always do this in some shape or form. So let's start by pulling, I've actually got 5 cards in front of me. I'm using my own Archangel Metatron Self-Mastery Oracle deck, and I'm also using the First Light Tarot deck by Dinah, sorry Dinah, I forgot your name, Dinah Roseberry, okay. So, and in the First Light Tarot, if you watch me regularly, I've used this a couple of times, it's really good because basically you can, I've got a card for the present, I've got a card for obstacles, a card for the future, and then I was going to pull one for what we call the wild card, but very interestingly 2 wild cards came out. And I was about to put one of them back in the pack, and I thought, no, don't do that, because you're at the Lion's Gate. The gateway is made up of 2 pillars, so it feels as though there's 2 energies which are a bit wild card at the moment that we need to be acknowledging. So I thought what I would do is I would pull a card for each of these things from the First Light Tarot, and then also from my own Archangel Metatron deck, okay? So let's first just pull a card for present energy, okay? So first let's pull a tarot card linked into the present energy that we find ourselves in. Those of you that are on Facebook with me, last night I put a pretty heartfelt post up talking about how difficult and challenging it is at the moment. Really, really difficult, really challenging. And, you might be a little bit surprised to see me this morning all dressed in red with my diamante on. I had to wear this because it just feels very Lionsgate. Lisa gave me this. Thank you very much, Lisa. But in the back of my mind, I've always had that ethic, which is like the show must go on. And I really believe that. So, when we are feeling a bit down in the dumps, bottom of the pit, as I called it last night, it's really important that we wake up for a fresh day and, for example, we put on our makeup. I've got Aretha Franklin in my head now. When I put on my makeup, you know that song, Aretha Franklin? I say a little prayer for you. Yeah, that one. It's all about facing the day, basically. Okay, we should always try to face the day with the best of the energy that we have. Yesterday is gone. Today is all that we have. So with that being said, let's look at present energy. We have to show up. That's what I'm basically saying. We have to show up. Despite whatever's going on in our life, we have to show up. And I'm going to dedicate this video to one of you that I met in a coffee shop in Bournemouth a couple of weeks ago. I think your name was Anne, and I think you'll be watching this video, Anne. And I won't say anything about what you said to me, but I know that you get up every day and you have to face some things. And this one's for you, okay? Right. Present energy. The Chariot. What was I just saying? We just have to get on. We have to get up, we have to show up. The Chariot, okay? So the present energy, we have the Chariot, and this is about determination, ambition, and emotional control, okay? Emotional control's an interesting one. I will talk about that a little bit, because I know I mentioned on my last video to you that I'd been feeling a little bit emotional and weepy and had some tears, and I've had some more tears since then. And that's not been something that I've experienced for a long time, actually. And when you go through that and you've had a back history of depression, as I have in the past, I've had 3 bouts of it in my life. I think probably every single member of my family, I'm talking about my birth family, have all suffered from depression, and some quite badly as well. So it's in my bloodline. And so when I get weepy, I always get a little bit scared, you know, which is like, oh my gosh, it's not coming back, is it? You know, the black cloud, it's not coming back. And what Metatron said to me very clearly was, no, it's not. This is just about what this card says. It's about you getting to grips with your emotions. And the thing is, to get to grips with your emotions means that you need to balance them out. And so therefore, if you've been holding on to something or trying to put the stiff upper lip on, you know, not show how you really feel, tears can be a great balancer, actually. They don't have to be a sign of anything more than that, you know. So try to, if that's resonating with you and you've been feeling quite tearful, try to see your tears as a way that your body is trying to balance itself out at the moment and to release stress that you've been holding in your body. You know, stress is a killer, basically. Stress is the thing that basically long term, if it's not dealt with, if it's not released, can lead to all sorts of health complications. So tears are a wonderful gift, actually, from the body to be able to rebalance itself. So this thing about emotional control isn't to do with, this is the present moment, it's not to do with holding it all in. It's to do actually with balancing. So maybe you need to express more, maybe you need to express less. Okay, it will resonate for different people in different ways. But we've got the Chariot. So the Chariot is saying presently it's about moving on, but moving on at a pace which is determined by what is right for you and what feels right for you. I still don't feel that the Chariot this year is wanting to go at 100 miles per hour. I feel as though the Chariot is wanting to go at a steady pace. Okay, so that's present energy. Let's pull a Metatron card that goes with the Chariot. Okay, let's just see what we get. So present energy, please, Archangel Metatron. We've got the Chariot card here. What goes with that? Present energy for people watching. Codependency, key to freedom. Well, yes, absolutely. That to me is saying keep going with trying to break patterns of codependency that you may have around you. That is a huge subject. I could do a whole video, I could do a whole series of videos on codependency, so I must just try and keep to the brief of what this video is meant to be, which is to look at Lionsgate. But let's just realise that we are on a journey towards trying to break the chains of codependency. Codependency goes both ways. It can be over giving, it can be over receiving, it can be where two people are tied together in a dysfunctional way, feeling as though they can't survive without the other. It can be parental, it can be romantic, it can be a friend, it can be linked into business. And what we're being asked to do here is to look at patterns of codependency, break them, and Metatron in the deck talks about you're being given the key to freedom. You're being given the key to drive the Chariot so that you can move away from those old patterns. It's definitely something I'm going through or I'm revisiting at the moment with regard to parental stuff in particular. And so I'm with you. If that message is resonating, keep going, keep driving the Chariot. Even if it stutters a little bit, you know, keep revving it up, keep moving on. Let's see what obstacles we've got at the moment. So let's have a tarot card linked into obstacles. So this is all linked into the energy we're in around August 2019 and this Lionsgate energy. So let's have a look at obstacles, please. Metatron. Obstacles. Yeah, the teacher. Some of us are resisting the lessons, the Hierophant, okay? Some of us are resisting the lessons. We are not wanting to be in the class. I've talked about being in the class. We are wanting to exit the class. We are not wanting to look at what we are being asked to look at by our higher self and by spirit and by Metatron. And it's coming up as an obstacle. So also, rather than going into victimhood and thinking, why is this happening? Why am I being tested so? Why is it so difficult? Why is this happening? Whatever that means to you, try to see that actually what is being presented in one way, what you're perceiving rather as an obstacle is actually an opportunity to learn something, to gain some wisdom, to gain understanding, and to be able to then evolve as a consequence of that. Let's see what goes with these two cards. So in terms of obstacles, let's have one card from the Metatron deck, please. So Archangel Metatron, obstacles. What's coming up with regard to obstacles at this time? What is the main obstacle that we are... Okay, that one. Go with the flow. Okay, we're not going with the flow. We're not allowing flow in our life. What is the opposite of flow? The opposite of flow is control. We're trying to control. We're trying to control. I can't say it any clearer than that. Interesting as well, that isn't it, that in the present energy you're being asked to move on with the Chariot, but as an obstacle you're not flowing anywhere. I mean, this is worst case scenario. I'm not saying everyone is like this, but at some degree there will be an aspect of this that is probably true for most of us. It may also be, Metatron is saying, that if the lessons are coming up around this Lion's Gate, you are going so far, okay? So it's almost like, okay, take the analogy of the classroom, take the analogy of the textbook, the school book. Say teacher, God, has asked you to read the whole book, okay, to learn the whole lesson. It's as though we're stuck sort of on page 23. Interesting, I say 23, I just conjure that up from nowhere. 23 as a number, it just keeps coming up all the time for me at the moment. And it, as a colour energy, it links into initiation, it links into a rite of passage. It also links into the court of King David. I'm going back to my colour mirrors training here. And interesting, last night Metatron was going to bed, and I was thinking about doing this video this morning. And he just dropped in, you know, one little thing before I went to sleep, and it was the story of Daniel in the lion's den. And I thought, oh, okay, you know, I was like really trying to scratch back in terms of my memory of what on earth that story was all about. So I looked it up, and the story of Daniel in the lion's den, and I might have said this last year on Lion's Gate, it's ringing a bell. And if I did, and if I'm giving the message again, well, let's listen again. Because if you're given a message more than once, there's a real message there that we haven't got. So Daniel basically was put in the lion's den, faced his ultimate test, but had faith, had trust, that prayed to God basically, had faith, had trust, believed that God would protect him in some way. And what God did was basically the lions' mouths were kept shut, you know, so they couldn't hurt him in the den, and he was released and let free. So there's this thing, isn't there, about understanding that God's never going to put you somewhere where you're not able to endure, and you're not actually able to pass the test, okay? So this is a period, as I've said repeatedly over the last few videos, of profound learning for us all. And the thing that is blocking us is that we're not wanting to really learn the lesson, or we're scared of the lesson, or we think that the lesson is above us. It's not. But equally, we are resisting flow. What do I mean by that? I mean allowing the universe to give you synchronicities, help, support, whereby you're able to go from place to place and you pick up the energies and the support and the help that you need with the lessons, with the challenges, with the tests that you're currently going through. Okay, let's look at future energy, and then we'll get to those wild cards. Interesting, we got two. Okay, future energy. So this is, I guess what we're saying here, this is post Lion's Gate, okay? So post Lion's Gate, future energies. I've almost got, you know, I almost feel, I almost then had a knot in the pit of my stomach when I was saying future energies. Isn't that interesting? Because that is like a body reaction, which contradicts what I've just said, because God's never going to place you somewhere which isn't good. But yet the human being, the human body, still doubts that. Our spiritual self, our soul, our higher self doesn't doubt it, but our physical body still can go into like a knot of fear in terms of what the future holds. So let's just let that go. Before I even pull the card, let's just let that go. What colour energy do we need, Metatron? We need the yellow. Hold on. Fear Fighter. Okay, this is the Fear Fighter spray. Shown this to you before. The warrior with the arrow shooting the flame into the distance. It's actually a children's spray, but it's one that many grown-ups use, including myself. So if you're, and also it's for our inner child as well. So often it's our inner child that's like, oh, I'm not sure. Okay, so let's just spray a bit of Fear Fighter. Let that settle into our stomach area, our solar plexus. Seems to be a lot of work on our solar plexus at the moment. So with that yellow and gold energy highlighting the way, let's have a card for the future, please. Messages. Card number 4, messages. It says messages, keep an open mind. So there are messages coming, and you need to keep an open mind to what those messages may be. Those messages could be anything. They could be direct messages from spirit, from your guides, from God, from the angels. They could be messages from somebody that you've been longing for a message for many years. They could be a message linked to business. They could be a message from a family member, something that needs to be said, that hasn't been said. Keep an open mind. In the future, there are messages coming. Let's see what Metatron card we get for that. So to go with messages, what do we get? Love, pink, basically. I will just say on the bottom of the deck, I must just say this, we've got the Conquering Fear card as well. So I love that because we just sprayed the Fear Fighter. But anyway, the card that came up is pink, love, that beautiful shell, which links into the Mary Magdalene energy, actually. This is about self-love and nurture. So I also feel there's a few different things going on here, actually. Okay, let's take one at a time. It's card number 26. 26, in terms of the colour mirrors energy, is the bottle of codependency. We had the card of codependency here. There's 2 messages here linked into codependency. So, and it comes with messages. So this is to do with if you're in a codependent situation, there is a conversation that needs to take place whereby you put down your boundaries, you state the way that the new era needs to look and how it needs to play out. And it's about putting yourself first, looking after yourself. Another message, not linked into codependency necessarily, is that some of you have done the work in terms of really starting to love yourself, value yourself. And because you've done that, what do they say? When you become more comfortable in your own skin, you are more attractive to other people. And so therefore, it feels as though there is a message of love coming for you because you've put in the work. You have started to love yourself more. And because you love yourself more, you're vibrating on a higher frequency and you're going to bring, therefore, messages of love in. I also feel that it's a message for the collective in terms of the fact that we all need to be being more tender and considerate to ourself, to our own vehicle, our own body. And when we start to do that, then we will start to see that in the wider world. The world is very harsh at the moment. It's very harsh. It's quite dark. A lot of light workers have been feeling very despondent with it, including myself. But we mustn't get down. We must always live to fight another day. And change, as I've said repeatedly, always starts from within ourselves. So the more we can love ourselves, the more then we will start to manifest that love that we want to see in the wider world on a bigger basis. Okay, should we look at what the 2 wild cards are? In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull one wild card before the meditation, and then I'm going to pull the other one after the meditation, assuming I remember. Okay, so let's pull the first wild card now. Okay, and actually I don't have a knot in my stomach. I've actually got a feeling of excitement now. Wild card. When you ask for something like the wild card, you should have absolutely nothing in your mind in terms of, I want it to be this, I want it to be that. Wild card by nature is you don't know. You do not know. And you're not meant to know until the card is revealed. So let's just see what we get. The world renewal. Okay, that's nice. The world renewal. Rebirth, reincarnation, celebration. One message I did pick up linked into this Lionsgate, it's a really interesting one, is that we always think of a gateway as being something where we are one side of it and we're about to walk through it. Well, that is what we're about to do. But what I was shown in 2019, everything is a bit topsy-turvy. The gateway also works the other way. What I mean by that is we have the gateway, and I've got to go and get the painting. Hold on a minute. Oh no, I've got a picture of it here. Oh, the miracle of having cards now. Let me just get the gateway image. Okay, the gateway. The other thing that's happening is people are coming through the gateway to meet us. And the people that are coming through the gateway to meet us are starseeds, are the galactic babies, are the future, actually. And there's going to be a whole wave of souls reincarnating to birth the new world. Many of these are tied into our soul group and our family group and our tribe. So it'll almost be like a welcoming back of these people that are coming through the gateway towards us. Isn't that fantastic? Because we always think, oh, the gateway is I'm going through it, you know, it's like, I'm going through it. It's like, yeah, you are, but also it's in Britain. We're very polite. Okay, I was watching a really funny video the other day. It was about an American that had been to the UK, and it was like 5 things that surprised them about the UK. Well, were they American or I can't remember what, I think they were American. No, because Americans are they queue. Americans queue. It was a country that doesn't queue, basically. And this video was saying, you know, when you're on the train and it was Korea. I think it was somebody from Korea, that's right. And the train doors open and they couldn't get over that everybody stands to the side and they wait for the people who are getting off the train first before you then go on. And apparently this is completely the reverse to what happens in, for example, Korea, where it's basically just everyone barges trying to get on at the same time that people are trying to get off. So this gateway, what's going to happen is the people that are coming in, the souls that are coming in rather, these galactic babies, these star seeds, we are parting the way to make way for them, and then we will walk through. And isn't that interesting? Because this is quite late in the day for me to be doing a Lionsgate video. It's tomorrow, basically. You know, ideally in my perfectionist controlled world, which is not good, by the way. It's the opposite of going with the flow. I realise what I've just said. I would have liked to have done this a week before, but I sort of knew there was a reason why it all had to be done really last minute. And I see now what's happened. These souls have been coming through that gateway. That gateway, the Lionsgate gateway has been open since the 26th of July. just when it's been getting so difficult for so many people, we have been standing aside to allow in this influx of light. And the influx of light this year, it's not just, when I say it's not just light, I'm wanting to say it's soul. It's actually souls that are coming through. How exciting is that? So it's a two-way gateway this year. But we will get our turn, okay? The gateway is not closing until everybody has come through that wanted to come through, and everybody then goes through that way to get the upgrade. Renewal. Let's just pull a Metatron card to go with our wild card. Okay, so we've got our wild card, we've got the world, we've got renewal. What goes with that? And of course, if the wild card is card number 21, well, you know, that's the end of a chapter. That's the end of one book that we've been reading. That's why everything has escalated and accelerated so much in the last couple of months, and why things are coming back to you from the past. And it's like, I thought I healed this. And it's been really difficult. And it's because we have to finish the book. We have to finish the chapter. We're about to really go into a new cycle. I cannot tell you how big next year's going to be, 2020. Whew. But anyway, let's not jump the gun. One card, wild card, please, Metatron. Just one, he's saying. Yes, just one, please. That's his sense of humour. Oh. Well, that's rather beautiful. We've got the cup, we've got the chalice, the Holy Grail, the infinity. Look at that, 8-8, the sign of infinity. The cup of replenishment. Just when you think you can't take any more, just when you think that's it, I'm done, I'm out of here, the cup comes. The cup comes to replenish you. The cup is gold, the cup is the Holy Grail, the cup is the thing we've been searching for all along. I do think this is linked to bloodline and Christ as well. I can't avoid that message. Not that I want to avoid that message. I do wonder, you know, it is a wild card and it's with renewal and we've got the chalice. I do wonder whether there's a message there linked into the church. The Christian church. And note there is no blood linked to this cup. There's no blood, there is just golden light. There is just infinity, there is just beauty, there is just love. I think the church is in for a massive overhaul. I know many of us know that and have known it for a long time. But the thing is, you can know something for a long time that it's coming, but it's like it's really nearly here. I am going to pull the other wild card now. I can't resist. Am I meant to do it now, Metatron? Yes, I am. Okay. And then we'll do our meditation. So second pillar then. Second wild card. Tarot card first. We've got the world. What's the other one? Crossroads, Hanged Man. Transition, turning points and decisions. The Hanged Man. We are going to be forced as a world to look at something in a completely and utterly different way. That's what the Hanged Man does. He asks us to look at life in a completely different way. And by doing that, we bring in the change that's needed. Let's see what the Metatron card is that goes with that. Transition, turning point, decision, crossroads. It's like choice point. It's like a choice point moment for ourselves and also for wider society. Second wild card, Metatron. What's the second wild card? Healing. Yeah, okay, healing. massive healings coming in. Look at that. Next to the cup of replenishment is the card of healing. Look at that rainbow light. I'm about to move us into a meditation that's linked to the Sirius star. The Sirius star is the rainbow star. I said that at the beginning. This 8-8 energy feels very, very important. And that's why it's felt so heavy before we've approached it. It is the darkest before the dawn. That's the truth. Okay, let's go into a meditation. I've no idea what we're doing here. We're just going to bring through whatever needs to come through. Where do I start? Let's just light some incense, he's saying, okay. Get yourself some water if you need it. Have a bit of sip of water. Ooh, can you hear that silence? How lovely is that? Almost don't want to say anything. How healing is silence. Let's start with white light. White light. Let's just take some breath. And I'd like you to look into the flame. White flame. This is a candle that's surrounded by kyanite. Kyanite is a crystal that helps link us to our intuition, our higher selves. So if you just look into the candle flame with me, and as we look into the candle flame, we're going to take 3 deep breaths in and then out. And we're going to breathe in white light, and we're going to breathe out white light. Breathing in white light. Breathing out white light. Breathing in white light. Breathing out white light. Breathing in white light. Breathing out white light. Just feeling the stillness of the candle, the flame, the light in the dark. And let's just find ourselves with our feet upon the earth, with our roots going down into Mother Earth and Gaia. And I'd like you to imagine that you're dressed in white. White robe. Pure cotton white robe. And the white robe goes all the way down to your feet. It ties at your neck with a white silk ribbon. It has gold buttons down it, which are loosely fastened. The white cloak has a hood that goes over you very loosely. It feels very soft upon your head. It's very cool. It's very comfortable. It feels very cleansing and purifying to wear this white cloak. The white cloak links you to the flame of God. The white light and the white cloak links you to your godliness, your holiness, your own divinity. And so you find yourself upon this earth at this particular moment in Earth's history. The Earth year is 2019. and we are in the energy of the Lion's Gate of that year. And your body feels as though it has gone through a lot, experienced a lot. A lot has been asked of it. But yet you are still pleased and grateful to have your rightful place upon this earth at this momentous time in her history. The stars are aligned, the planets are aligned, Earth herself is aligned, the portals upon the earth are aligned, and you are aligned to the great changes that are to come. You have earned your place to be here right now, to experience and to witness all that is to manifest, all that is to unfold. And yes, you are a witness to this, just as you have been a witness to many of the great changes upon this planet and upon other star systems and planets over many millennia. You have done all of this before. You have gone through many gateways before. You will go through many gateways after this. Gladly, in service to light, to good, to love. For love is never ending, God is never ending, and your soul constantly searches out and seeks that which is love. Dressed in white, ready, prepared, and aligned, we are joined by the mighty Archangel Metatron, and we are taken to Metatron's retreat, etheric retreat, in Luxor, in Egypt. And Metatron governs time, and Metatron governs movement, and Metatron places you into your own chariot and takes you there, across the stars, across the skies, across the expanded universe, where time melts. You arrive exactly where you are meant to be, ready for the Lion's Gate energy to enter you, at the place where its peak is most felt. Egypt. Egypt, a land where most of you have already been. In past lives, past incarnations, Egypt is in the blood of most men and women, most light workers, most spiritual warriors that are on the planet now doing this work. As you link into your Egyptian heritage, you see the beauty and the heritage that is still left there from those times. However you behaved, whatever your incarnation was when you walked this place before many years ago, you now come here free healed, equal, able to embrace and honour the beauty of this place again. It belongs to you. It always belonged to you. You walk around the ruins and you see that they are not ruins at all. They are restored to how they looked many eons ago. You walk around the pyramids. You walk around the Sphinx. You walk around the ancient temples. You walk the pathways that you once walked. And you feel at home there. Metatron with you. Metatron always present in this place, safeguarding this important, sacred place forevermore. With Metatron beside you, you go up to the Sphinx and you look and you see how huge it appears. You look and you see how tall Metatron appears. And then you feel yourself growing taller, broader, until you too can meet the face of the Sphinx and its eyes, eye to eye. You see it in all its glory, in all its beauty, and the energy of the Sphinx comes to you via the eyes. You look into the eyes of the Sphinx and you receive what you are meant to receive. Ancient codes, ancient light, future codes, future light. Process down, become integrated through all of the chakras of your body, integrating fully, grounded fully into the body. You become aware as you look into the Sphinx's eyes that the light is changing around you. It is changing from day to night. And as twilight sets in, you become aware of the starlight above you. Metatron says, come, we have more work to do. You thank the energy of the Sphinx for gifting you what you needed for the year ahead. You are always able to visit and to receive anything that you need from this great being that is not made of stone, is made of multi-dimensional material from another galaxy, another time, another consciousness, of which you too are part. You walk with Metatron, still feeling expanded, taller, broader. Partly, this is so you can integrate more light. You will be returned back to your normal size towards the end, but right now, feel and sense your body larger, taller, wider, absorbing all the energy of this place. As you walk in the twilight, the darkness starts to set in, and you can't see the ground underneath your feet. Metatron asks you to look up, and you see the Sirius star above you. Your eyes go to where it is in the sky, and you see that it is shining the brightest over the Giza pyramid. You go there with Metatron, and as you approach the pyramid, you notice a doorway within it that is normally not visible to man or the naked eye. It is a huge gateway into the Great Pyramid, and you walk into it with Metatron, not having to duck your head. The pyramid itself, like you, is becoming larger and taller, extending higher and wider and broader than ever before. Metatron guides you with a light into the very center chamber of the pyramid. And you stand there feeling the coolness of the air around you. You see the codes that are written on the walls of this secret inner central chamber. Language and codes that you recognize. You run your fingers down the wall and you integrate that code, that message into your very being. You are asked to stand in the very center of the central chamber of the Great Pyramid. You stand with Metatron behind you, and you look up and you see a skylight at the very apex of the top of the pyramid. And this apex opens until it lets in the pure starlight of the Sirian star. The Sirius starlight flows into the Great Pyramid, concentrating on the spot that you are standing at. It feels blissful, peaceful, strong, powerful, loving, healing, empowering. It recharges you. It gives you what you need to continue the next year forward. A pivotal year in your life and a pivotal year in this Earth's consciousness. You are given the light that you need to carry on. You are given more than you actually need. You are given a full battery power and a reserve. You are charged up with this white light that holds all of the colours of the rainbow. It also contains galactic codes, messages from home, support, encouragement, and the determination to keep on going. It also confers complete and utter protection on you going forward. Just feel into that. Take it all the way through you. Metatron says at the count of 3, the apex will be closed. You will have had your fullness of light, 1, 2, 3. You see the opening close, and you find yourself drawn down to see your feet standing on the ground of the bottom of the pyramid, the central chamber. Metatron asks you to go over to the right wall of this central chamber, where there is one code written in light for you to now see. One symbol, one letter, one image, one code, and you trace your finger upon the wall and you put it into your heart. Whatever has been shown to you is put into your heart. Metatron says to you, it is done, it is complete. And he walks you back out of the Great Pyramid, through the door that you came in. And as you come out of the door, the night time is no more. You had not appreciated how long you had been inside that central chamber. Instead, you are back in the full sunlight. It's blinding to your eyes. You are given some glasses to wear to allow your eyes to just adjust to the frequency of the light. When they have adjusted, you take off the glasses and you allow the sunlight to soak into your skin, to soak into your muscles, to soak into your bones, to bring in the life force of the sun. Bringing in the life force of the sun, the starlight from Sirius, and the earth underneath your feet. You realize that you have received the sacred codes and energy of this Lion's Gate energy. You thank Metatron, and he smiles and he says, there's still one thing to see. And you round the corner, you go down the path from whence you came, and you come back to the Sphinx. But this time the Sphinx doesn't look like the Sphinx. This time the Sphinx has got the head of a lion, a true lion, as though the Sphinx's features have altered just for a moment to just show its energy as only a lion and only that. The nod to Leo, the nod to strength, the nod to courage, a nod to the time of year that you came. You look down at the ground, you understand. You look up at the Sphinx and you see it as it always has been, the Sphinx. Closing your eyes, you take Metatron's hand and he asks you to count to 5. Upon the count of 5, you'll be back where you started, but with a renewed energy, having received what you needed to receive this Lion's Gate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You open your eyes. You see that you are dressed in your normal clothes. But that is the only thing that still feels the same. You look into the mirror. You see the light that is coming out of your eyes. And you know that you have integrated this Lionsgate energy. 8/8/2019. It is done. Taking a nice deep breath in, feeling your feet upon the earth. We will just spray the earth spray. Breathing in the earth and then linking into the red jasper. The properties of red jasper. Feeling red jasper underneath your feet and also feeling red jasper in the palms of your hands. Taking a nice deep breath in. A nice deep breath out, and coming back to the candle, the light from which we started. Okay. Wow, how are you doing? Well, I can already see on the camera my eyes look different, so I think yours probably will as well. I hope you enjoyed that. I think I'm going to leave it there. Have a good Lionsgate. I will be back very soon. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved and held by spirit always. Much love. Bye-bye.